So, Hari Om. Good evenings to all of you. And whoever comes, welcome. We shall start. We shall chant Om Mantra 3 times all together. Om Sahana Vavato Sahano Bhunakto Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvesavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Gangurubhyo Namaha. Om Ganapataye Namaha. Om Aim Saraswate Namaha. Om Klim Kalikaye Namaha. Om Klim Bhadrakalli Namaha. Om Dam Durgaye Namaha. Om Hrim Namah Shivaya. Hari Om. Om Namah Brahmadibhya Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartebhya Namah Rishibhya Namah Gurubhya Sarvoplavarhitaha Pragyanaghanaha Pradayatha Brahmevahamasmi 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 Sankaram Sankaracharyam Kesavam Vadarayanam Sutravasakrito Vande Bhagavanto Punaha Punaha Ishvara Gururatmete Murti Veda Vibhagini Vyamavadvyapta Dehaya Sidachina Murtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Anika Janma Samprapta Janma Karma Vidahinaha Atmajnana Pradhanena Tasme Sri Gurave Namaha. Dhyanamulangaro Murte Puja Mulangaro Padam Mantra Mulangaro Vakya Musya Mulangaro Kripa. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. So, through these prayers, everyone is welcome to join the Brahma Vidya. Today, the special subject Advaita Vedanta on the enlightenment, and you can meditate as well when you listen. This is called Shruti Jnana. That is known as Niralamba Upanishad. And special Shanti part I need to chant. I need to also to repeat. So very beginning they say, Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidanandamurtaye Nisprapanchaya Santaya Niralambaya Tejase Niralamba Samasritya Salabam Bijahatiya Sasanyasi Chayogecha Kaivalam Padamasnute. So, this is very interesting Upanishad. Anyone study Nilalamba Upanishad, anyone even listening, even when the listening in the order of Brahma Vidya, in the order of Brahmanishta Gurus, in the Parampara. Parampara means the enlightenment of the DNA. Enlightenment of DNA, that lineage, Parampara, the traditions. So when you study the Brahma Vidya in the tradition of Adiguru Shankaracharya, it means you are all the way. You are all the way. Go to the tradition of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva. So therefore, Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachidananda Murtaya. So, and Sasanyasi Chayogi Cha Kaivalam Padam Nishnave. A person who listening is the sannyasi. Who is yogi? Who is the sannyasi is the yogi. And who is the sannyasi is the yogi. Without getting perfection of a science of yoga, yoga vidya, there is no proper sannyas. And those who have entered into life of sannyas, they became perfect yogi. And they, such a yogi, such a sannyasi, enter into kaivalya, the final enlightenments. And by listening, the Shruti Jnana, the Brahma Vidya, so one can actually never return to in this samsara again and again. So, once again, so Niralamba Upanishad, among the all Upanishads, one of the essential Upanishad for the Brahma Vidya, on the path of Brahma Vidya. And you must know all kind of yogic science coming from the Agam Sastras, the Tantra Sastras. So Tantra Sastra is the primary science of the final liberations. Today, we misunderstood the science of Yoga Vidya, the science of Vedic knowledge, or the Brahma Vidya. So misunderstood. So Brahma Vidya, the science of Veda, the science of Yoga Vidyas, all are the coming from the science of Tantra Sastras, extract. So mother of all spiritual science, whatever available today, it is coming from the science of Tantra Vidya, Tantra Sastra. So we can say the Tantra Sastra is the mother of all the Brahma Vidyas, all the science of liberation, whatever available to us today. But due to there are certain civilizations, after history, a lot of things are changes. The methods, the schools, the ideology, the ideas, the lifestyles, many things changes. So therefore, the Tantra Shastra today stays in dilute forms. So even a lot of spiritual science today stays in dilute form. Even Vedanta science, science of Vedanta, science of Brahma Vidya, science of Yoga Vidya, science of Tantra, today is dilute. And same time, so therefore they extract the guru-disciple relationships, become student and teacher relationships. Today is different than if you compare school of Tantra Shastra, school of Brahma Vidya, school of Yoga Vidya. So that is different as per the time, as per the space, as per the environments. So, and most difficult part to maintain guru-disciple relationships, especially in the Tantra Shastras. The Tantra Shastras has different understandings. And so therefore, the most difficult part among the all paths, either Yoga Vidya or the science of Brahma Vidya, the science of Vedanta. So the science of Tantra is most difficult parts, because science of Tantra does not allow the people without complete surrender. Without complete surrender. So path of, it means path of Shiva, path of Sakti, is the complete surrender. So therefore you can understand, and when you study began with Tantra. So somehow today, without going to elaborate the topics, but just I give influence, thus I give a little bit ideas how the guru-disciple relationships, how the teacher-student relationships, and how to the people and preceptors. So the relationships. So today we are going to study. Last time I think study who is Jiva. That will start. They say who is Jiva. Last time study what is Brahman, the characteristic of Brahman. So characteristic of the Brahman is the characteristics of the Brahman. It is a Chaitanya, the pure consciousness. The characteristic of Brahman is indescribable. That means we can describe by the intellect, by the mind, by the matter of the phenomenon. So last time we speak about who is Ishvara. That was the discussion last time. Who is Ishvara and what are his characteristics? That what I speak last time. And the same time we speak Brahman itself having through his Sakti called Prakriti. So Brahman have the Sakti is called Prakriti. Ishvara means eternal. Eternal concept. Last time we have discussed about Ishvara. So who is Ishvara? The Lord Shiva or the Hari or the Brahma? So we give the names. Actually, when we give the names is Ishvara, that is create the forms. The last time there was Shiva was asking the questions about Ishvara. We can give the name of Hari or Krishna or Shiva and so on. Actually, if you check properly, and wherever the forms can be destroyed. Any forms. Even you give the name of Hari, Brahma, Vishnu, these are the names, or Krishna. But Ishvara means something which is eternal and is never die. The names comes and go. Ishvara means something immortal. It was, it is, it will be. So therefore, we see that among the all, God and Goddess, Lord Shiva has no form. So last time, we have also discussion about the Shiva. Shiva has the different forms in the Sakara form. But today, we learn. So Lord Shiva is a Nirakar. Nirakar. No akar. No form. So, no form. So what we study, who is Jiva? Who is Jiva? Jiva is called Ishvara himself. Ishvara himself. Who is Jiva? Ishvara himself. Subject to the false superimposition upon himself or the idea. I am the gross. Through the names and forms of the Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, Indra, and other Jivas. Through one, he appears as many Jivas. Through the force of the different karmas originating in the bodies. So who is Jiva? The Jiva iti cha Brahma Vaishnavi Sanendra Denam Namarupa Dwara Stulo Aham Miti Nithya Thya Sav Sanjivaha. So Ahame Kopi Api Dharambha Kave Davasad Bahu Jivaha. Jiva iti cha Vaishnava Visanendra Denam Namarupa Dwara Stula aham viti. Mithya. Mithya. Dha. Adhyasa. Av. Sanjiva. So aham. Meko api. Deha rambha. Rambha kavi. Davasad bahu jiva. You simply listen it. Even the Sanskrit mantra listening is helping you to awakening the inner potential energy. Shruti, Shruti Vidya. Shruti means Brahma Vidya. Shruti Gyan. Even simply listen the Sanskrit words. What I'm chanting the mantras is help you to awakening the Kundalini, awakening dormant state of the consciousness of your Chitta, the subconscious mind, and unconscious mind. So who is Jiva? Is Ishvara himself. What is Jiva? So this is Jivatma. What is that? Ishvara himself. Subject to false superimposition upon himself. The idea. I am the gross. Through the name and forms of Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, Indra, and other jivas. Through one, he appears as many jivas. Through the force of the different karmas originating the bodies. So anyway, this very interesting answer is today. Last time we asked who is Ishwar actually. Can we give the name of Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, Indra, and so on? Answer is yes. Certain extent, yes. Because Brahman is exist with all beings as a form of Hari, as a form of Rudra, as a form of Vishnu, as a form of Swami Samarpan. Why not? So Brahman is exist with all beings. So in this concept, so Jiva itself, you can say Aham Brahmasmi, I am the Brahman. Yes, one extent, yes. But same time, so we can't pretend ourselves, I am Swami Samarpa as a physical body. No, we can't pretend that also. So we have to be very clear that if a Brahman is exist with all beings, then naturally we can say Ishvara is a Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, Indra, and so on. Right? So in this concept, so we can say that Brahman is eternal. So Vishnu can be eternal, Rudra can be eternal, Brahma can be eternal, Indra can be eternal. But if you're going to egoistic way, if you're going to avidya, then it's problem there. Yes, I am the Indra, I am the Rudra, I am the Brahma, I am the Swami Samarpan. This is the problems. Because you need to experience that supreme consciousness as a Brahman. Maybe different names, but at the end of the day, actually there is no Brahma, there is no Vishnu, there is no Rudra, there is no Indra as well, because there is no Swami Samarpan. You are simply as a Brahman, the absolute consciousness. So regarding this point of view, so we can say that yes, Ishvara is the Brahma, is the Vishnu, Rudra, Shiva, whatever give the names. Am I clear that? Atmanand, I'm clear for you this?
Yes, you're clear. Yes. I also reading by listening to you, reading in parallel the commentary of the Niralambaya Upanishad. So
okay.
How the ego of his own thinking.
So therefore, if I have ego, if I have avidya, then Hari is not the Iswara. Lord Shiva is not Iswara. Or the Vishnu is not Iswara. Brahma is not Iswara. Indra also not Iswara. If I have self-identified with the physical body, But if I identify I am the Brahman, I am the absolute consciousness, but not this physical body, not this panchakosas, not this mind, not this body. Then in this concept, so we can say that I am the Ishvara as well. I am the Ishvara as well. So that we can actually work out. Then, yeah, that is very good. Very good. So now we are going to understand what is Prakriti. Say Prakriti. Riti cha Brahmana. Sakasa Arnana Vichitra Jagarnirman Samarthya Buddhirupa Brahma Saktireva Prakriti. Prakriti Riti cha Brahmana. Sakasana na Vichitra Jagarnirman Samarthya Buddhirupa Brahma Saktireva Prakriti. What is Prakriti? So Prakriti, the matter. They say it is nothing else but the Shakti. So Prakriti, the Shakti. Like yesterday we speak. It is nothing else but the Shakti of Brahman, which is of the nature of Buddhi, that is able to produce the many mortal words by virtue of the mere presence of Brahman. So what is actually Prakriti? So Prakriti, the Shakti of Brahman. But it's very interesting that, but without Brahman, there is no power of Shakti. Without Brahman, without supra consciousness, without the absolute consciousness, so Shakti actually has no power. What they say is nothing else but the Shakti of Brahman. That is called Prakriti. So yesterday we speak about the supreme consciousness and the cosmic energy, right? And it was not actually, I revealed the truth yesterday. So we have to be very clear. Every philosophies, every darshan shastras, they explain differently. They put the terminology. They put terminology. So when you say in Sankhya philosophy, they explain Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha means the supreme consciousness, and Prakriti means everything changes. Everything changes. That is according to Sankhya philosophies. So Prakriti all the time changes. There is no constant. There is nothing constant. It's mortal. Every time changing. Every time appears, disappears, appears, disappears, born, die, born, die. It's changing the form. That is called Prakriti. But that is not the Saiva philosophies. What we study yesterday, the began work on it. Say, no, this is not exactly the same. This is not exactly the same. They say Shakti is the energy, is the prana, is there all the time. Prana is there. Prana is constant. This is prana is the constant. Energy is constant. Neither created nor destroyed. That is very different definitions. Therefore, yesterday, I did not reveal the truth. I did not reveal the truth. They say, according to Shiva, so Shiva, the pure consciousness, the cosmic energy, also the constant, is Prakriti changes, but energy neither created nor destroyed. It remain constant. It remain constant. So therefore, the cosmic energy is also eternal. The Shakti also eternal. So the eternal energy, the cosmic energy, because eternal energy, the cosmic energy also can understand the transcendental consciousness. Because the supreme consciousness is the eternal consciousness, right? So we need the real consciousness, the eternal consciousness, or eternal energy can realize the supreme consciousness or the eternal consciousness. that you have to go through this. Atmanan, try to think. You have to be very, how? Like yesterday we have discussions, everyone have their own point of view. We say cosmic energy is unreal, but that was my question yesterday. How unreal can realize the real? How unreal energy or unreal things realize the consciousness, the supreme consciousness, right? That was my topic yesterday. Am I clear that?
Yes, yes. And shall I
answer? Therefore, yesterday, I was only listening to everyone. I did not but I had cross-question to Shiva Puja. How a unreal can experience the real? I did not reveal the truth yesterday. I was listening. Therefore, I postponed the answers yesterday. That topics I was thinking, I was meditating. Even today whole day, I was thinking a lot. So we have to understand, if you go to the metaphysics, energy neither created nor destroyed. Energy remain constant. Energy remain eternal. And the Shakti. So Parashakti, the cosmic energy, is constant, is real, is eternal. So the Parashakti, the cosmic energy is real. So therefore, this cosmic energy is transcendent into transcendental consciousness. So cosmic energy, the Parashakti is real. So the real, the Parashakti can actually realize the Shiva consciousness. So nobody actually can realize the Shiva consciousness. But when you go to Sankhya philosophy, there is the Purusha and Prakriti, but they have different understandings. The Prakriti all the time changing, all the time changing. That Buddha used to say, Lord Buddha say, all is changing, because Lord Buddha only experienced Sankhya philosophies between Purusha and Prakriti. But Lord Buddha studied more about law of nature. Only law of nature is all the time changing, not more than that. So therefore, we have done, some people study Kriya Yoga, or I know certain teachers and around the world, they speak about Sankhya philosophy, but they don't go actually depth of the Tantra, the depth of the, like Vijnana Tantra, or depth of the Brahma Vidyas. They have no ideas. They stay in Sankhya philosophies. But Sankhya philosophy is not the highest, but we need that support to understand the pure Vedanta. This is classical philosophies. You understand? So Sankhya philosophy speak about only the law of nature. Law of nature to understand properly. So that means, so we can understand law of nature of our body, the mind, the breath is, but you have to go more further. You have to go more further. So, am I clear that? So therefore, so yesterday I did not want to elaborately to explain to all of you. Atman speak and other people speak and speak with also. So, but still, you have to go to more further to understand properly the energy. So here the topic comes Shakti. The topic comes Shakti. Therefore I speak. What they say? What is Prakriti? It is nothing else but the Shakti. So you can say Shakti of Brahman. If Brahman is constant, if Shakti of the Brahman, Shakti also constant. If Brahman is eternal and Shakti, they say it is nothing else but the Shakti, the potency of Brahman. What does that mean? Brahman is eternal, Shakti also eternal. As per the Brahma Vidya, as per the Niralamba Upanishad. Then what that? Which of the nature of the Buddhi that is able to produce the many mortal words and virtue of the mere presence of Brahman. So then what happening? They say, even nature is there. So which is the nature of Buddhi? So they say, is the nature of intellect, nature of buddhi. But buddhi called para buddhi, sudha buddhi. Buddhi means we can't say that our mind, merely intellectual knowledge, intellectual info. That is not. So buddhi is something mahat, more higher. Buddhis, like pure chitta, sudha chitta. So that is able to produce many mortal worlds by virtue of mere presence of Brahman. They say, due to presence of Brahman, due to presence of Brahman and Shakti has the buddhi, then everything is created by the Shakti. But at the end of the day, you can say Brahman is the creator for all, because Shakti is the, so it is not, it is nothing else but the Shakti of Brahman. They say Prakriti Riti cha Brahmana. Prakriti Riti cha Brahmana is nothing but the Shakti of Brahman. Prakriti is nothing but Shakti of Brahman. So we have to be very clear that the word of Shakti, the word of Prakriti. Then this, which is the nature of buddhi, that they are able to produce the many mortal words by virtue of the mere presence of Brahman. Maybe Atmanand can share what you have the commentaries.
Commentary on what is Paramatma?
No. What is Prakriti?
Prakriti, yes. It is nothing else but the Shakti of Brahman, the potency of Brahman, which is of the nature of buddhi, that is able to produce the many worlds by virtue of the mere presence of Brahman.
Okay, so now we are going to study Paramatma. What is actually Paramatma? Paramatmeti cho deha for taratvat brahmiva Paramatma. What is Paramatma? The Supreme Atman or soul. Is it Brahman alone? It is Brahman alone that is Paramatma. As it far superior to bodies and others. So what is Paramatma? Is far superior to the bodies or the all beyond bodies. Beyond the bodies means Anamaya Kosa, Pranamaya Kosa, Manamaya Kosa, Vijnanamaya Kosa, or Anandamaya Kosa. Or you can say Stula Sari, Sukma Sari, then Linga Sari, then Karan Sari. So beyond all the saris, beyond the all physical body, that is called Paramatma, the supreme Atma or the soul. So that is the short definition. Sa Brahma, sa Vishnu, sa Indra, sa Samanaha, sa Surya, sa Chandrasti, Asurasti, Ichasasti, Manusyastaha, Striyate, Pancha Daya, Statha, Stavramsi, the Brahmanadaya. Very interesting. The Brahman is Brahma. They say Brahman is Brahma. So Brahma, so Vishnu, so Indra. Say that is Brahman is Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra and Indra, Yama, Sun and Moon, Devata, Asuras, Pisachas, men, women, beast. The fixed ones, Brahmanas and others. There is no manyness in the least degrees. All is verily Brahman. But you see, we say Dharma Jayaho, Asura, we have to destroy, the evil energy has to be destroyed. But here what they say? Brahman itself also Asura. Brahman itself the demon. Brahman itself the Pisach. Very interesting, right? Dharma also Brahman. Adharma also can be Brahman, right? Atmanan. Very interesting. You see, Brahman is Brahma. So, the Brahma is exist within Brahma, Vishnu. Very interesting sutra. Sa Brahma, Sa Vishnu. Who is Brahma? He is the also Brahman. Sa Indraha. So Brahman, also Indra. Sa Samanaha. Samana means here Yama. Sa Suryaha. Brahman is the Surya, the sun. Brahman, Sa Chandraste. Chandra means moon. So Brahman is also moon. Devata. And Brahman is also Devata. Asuras. You see, so Chandra is Asuraste. Pichasaste, Manusyaste, Striyate. Pasudayastastavaramte Brahmanadaya. So Brahman, beast. So Brahman exists with all beings, even with the evil energy, even with the devatas and asuras, right? Dharma and adharmas. Like Brahman exists in the snake, cockroach, monkeys, man, woman, and everywhere. But we have to understand the nature of a man, nature of a yama, nature of asuras, nature of pisas. They forget they are the swarupa of Brahman, right? So therefore, the contest is here. Who realize Brahman? Right? For example, we are the human being. If we realize Brahman, then we are the eternal. If we don't realize the Brahman, we are not the eternal. Then we can say that I am the Brahman. So it's very important. The secret science of Brahma Vidya is to realize and not merely in avidya with the physical personality or name and fame, but we must realize the essence of our nature. So essence of nature, not the physical body, not the mind, not the buddhi, not the intellect, but essence is we are the Atma, Paramatma, and we are the Brahman. So then you realize your supreme consciousness. Then you become free. Then you can say that the Brahman exists with all beings. Then you can say, but unless you realize, then you see only the physical body from the outside. So therefore, a Brahmagyani see outside or inside, the Brahman is everywhere. But does mean a Brahmagyani going to in front of the tiger, I am the Brahmagyani, and you are the Brahman, I am the Brahman. Let them make friendship. But tiger coming to eat you. So don't do that mistake. Am I clear that? When go to Asuras, the Asuras also the same thing will be doing all bad things to you. Evil energy also going to destroy you. The Asuras are also going to destroy, like snake. Snake say, oh, snake say, I am Brahman. The frog say, I am Brahman. But when the frog go to the snake, snake bite, snake eat the frog, right? Similarly, the mouse, the rat, they are also Brahman. Snake also Brahman, right? But when a snake and when a rat coming to the mouth of snake, snake eat it, right? Similarly, when you go to the Asuras, when you go to the devils, when you go to Pisachas, they destroy you because their nature is the evil. The nature is in avidya, ignorance. So don't do that mistakes. Although the science say everything is Brahman. Tiger is Brahman. As a man, we are Brahman, right? So in this concept, although everything is Brahman, but in this concept, so we don't realize the Brahman. So therefore, and we can't say that everything is the eternal. Another sense, a man is not eternal, a woman not eternal, the Pisas is not eternal, unless you realize that the supreme consciousness, Atman, yourself. Am I clear that? So in this context, the Hari, the Brahma, Vishnu and so on is not the Iswara if they don't realize the Brahman itself. Am I clear that now? Question before comes, some days before. Is it the Iswara? Can be Brahma, can be Hari, can be Krishna? Answer is not. They can't be actually Brahman. They can't be Iswara. Unless they realize the Iswara, the Brahman itself. If Lord Krishna realize I am Brahman, then he can be Iswara. Like for example, Atmananda, unless you realize Brahman, so we can't say that Atmananda. Bliss in Atma. Not possible. So therefore, Hari, Brahma, Vishnu, whatever the names are appears, is they're not actually Iswara. Unless they realize the Brahman. So in this context, so all kind of form of Sakara form of Brahman is not the Iswara unless they realize. According to Vedantic, Advaita Vedantic concepts. Then Sarvam Khala Idam, this is Sarvam Khalam Idam Brahma Niha Nanasti Kinchan Jatiriti Cha Na Charmanu Na Raktasya Na Mansasya Na Chastinaha Na Jati Ratmano Jati Vyavahara Prakalpitam. So Sutta number 9, Sarvam Khalidam Brahma Niha Nanasti Kinchana Jati Riticha Na Charmono Na Raktasya Na Mansasya Na Chastinaha No Jati Ratma No Jati Vyavahara Prakalpita Karmeti Cha Triyamana Indriyaha Karmaniyaham Koromithitatma Nishtataya Kritam Karmeva Karma Akarmeti Cha Kartabhya Bho Tatva Adhyakarataya Bandharupam Janmadi Karanam Nitya Naimitya Kaya Gabrata Ta Bodanatishu Phalabhisandhanam Yatad Karma. So it cannot refer to the skin, the blood, the face of the bone. There is no caste for Atma. Caste is only conventional. They say everything is Brahman. Sarvam Khala Idam Brahma Neha Nanasti Kinchana. So everything is Brahman. But there is no caste of Atma. There is no caste. Caste is what is karma? Karma is that. They say Jatiriti cha charmano no raktesu no mansas chastina. Atma has no caste. Atma has no caste. Atma can exist with all beings. But as per our nature of the lifestyle, then it's different. As I explained you. Tiger, lion, snake, like this. Also we have, as we are the human beings. So we have different colors, different bodies. But the Atma has no colors, caste, male, female, nothing. Then what is karma? Karma is that action alone which is performed by the organs and ascribed to Atma as I do, essence being attributed to Atma. So karma, whatever comes, actually, until unless we realize that supreme consciousness, Atma, or the Brahman, then we say that I do this, I do that. So whatever you perform, the actions, without the proper realization of the supreme consciousness, which dawn the all karmas within you, then that is the karma. If you don't realize that Brahman, the Atma, and doing everything within you, you understand me? So if you realize I'm the Brahman, then no more you done any karmas. But when you don't realize I'm the Brahman, if you do anything, and that is karma. It's very simple. Am I clear that now? This see, karma is that action alone which is performed by the organs and ascribed to Atma, as I do. Either is being attributed to Atma. You say, no jati ratma, no jati vyavahara paklapita, karmeti cha kriyamana indriyaha, karmani aham, karomitye adhyatmanishtateya kritam karmeva karam. Akarmeti cha kartiva bhoktu tvadakarthaya bandharupam janmadikaranam nitya naimitya kaya gravrata tadupadanam desu svalabhit sandhanam yatad karma. They say, what is a karma? Karma, what you do? Karma, what you do? And without who? By the organs ascribed by the Atma. So anyway, whatever you do, that is the karma. But if you realize you are the Atma, as per my understanding Vedantic point of view, there is no karma. Because Atma is free from the all karmas. Atma has no karma. The Brahman has no karma. That is the supreme Paramatma. What is Paramatma? The supreme soul, the supreme Atma. So therefore Atma has no karmas. Atma is eternal and free. So what is your karma? Not karma. Say akarma is the performance without any desire for the fruits of the daily and occasional righteous sacrifices, bhoj, austerity, gifts, and other actions that are associated with the egoism of the actor and the enjoyer, that are productive of bondage, reward. So karma, which karma you do, and you think you are the Atma, you realize, I am Atma. I am the supreme consciousness. I am Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi. I am Shiva. I am the pure consciousness. If you have this consciousness already achieved and realize, and whatever you perform the karma, that karma, whatever you do the actions, that leads to the karma, that karma is leads to the final liberations. There are no more bondage. But what is your karma? When you realize or when you understand, I am this body, I am this mind, I am not the Atma, I am a male, I am the female, I am Swami Sambhapan, I am a yogi, a master, acharyas, abdut, whatever you have written yourself, name and fame. Such kind of possessions is known as avidya. And carrying this avidya, carrying this ego, and if you performing any kind of karma, any kind of actions, or any kind of yajna, austerity, tapasya, or anything to give to others is nothing but egoism. This ego does not lead you to final liberations, mukti. So what happens? Such kind of karma is known as akarma. Such a karma leads all the way to bondage of your sufferings, bondage, and leads to the also rebirth. Again, will come back. Is make you sufferings. So any kind of karma you do out of avidya means when you not realize Atma, that is called avidya. So if once you realize I am Atma, I am Paramatma, I am the pure consciousness, and that consciousness will help you no bondage of karmas. Does not matter what you do. You can do any actions, but it's not going to make you miserable. It's not make you suffer. So bondage of karma means akarma. Akarma leads to the bondage of sufferings, bondage of your karma, and leads to the rebirth. Come again and again. Then this much today, and we'll speak other day. What is jnana? This is a question mark. So what is the knowledge? And what kind of knowledge can help us to the final liberations? So let's keep continue. Niralamba Upanishad, but not tomorrow. Tomorrow we have Shiva Sutras, Saiva Darshan. Tomorrow is Monday. So Monday always I keep Saiva Darshan. So let conclude today these sections of the Brahma Vidya. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidanandamurtaye Nisprapanchaya Santaya Niralambaya Tejase Niralambam Samaskritya Salabam Bijahaniya Sasanyasi Chayogecha Kaibalam Padamosnate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Brahmadibhya Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartibhya Nama Rishibhya Nama Rishibhya Nama Gurubhya Sarva Plavarahitaha Pragyana Ghanaha Pradayartha Brahmevahamasmi 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 Sankaram Sankaracharyam Esavam Vadarayanam Satramasa Vande Bhagavanto Panaha Ishvara Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyamavad Vyapta Dehaya Lakshina Murtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Prayer for liberation of the all beings. Again, let establish the dharma. Let the destroy the adharma, akarma. Let the establish the dharma. Let the destroy the all evil thoughts, evil energy, and asuras as well. Om Trayambakam Yajamahi Shugandim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukam Yogandhanam Mritar Musyamamritam. Om Trayambakam Yajamahi Shugandim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukam Yogandhanam Mritar Musyamamritam. Om Trayambakam Yajamahi Shugandim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukam Yogandhanam Mritar Musyamamritam. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let everybody repeat with me 5 times. Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavan. लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु 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 ओम शांति 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 ओम गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम। बोले महामाया की जय, बोले बाबा की जय, महाकालेश्वर भगवान की जय, महाकाल की जय, स्वामी शिवानंद महाराज की जय, आदि गुरु शंकराचार्य भगवान की जय। बोलो नमः पार्वती पते हर हर महादेव। ओम नमः शिवाय।